Hi, I'm going to show you how to use the grid layout in CSS. Previously, I showed you kind of basic layout tips and strategies. Grid is much more structured, so we can do some much more complex layouts with it. Yeah, so I'm going to go through two examples. They're kind of loosely based on the W3 Schools tutorial. So you can check that out if you want to try this out on your own. And since I'm going to be live coding CSS, I'm going to, we'll see if I can keep this GFA, but no promises because this is incredibly frustrating. So let's do this. So grid means we're going to lay things out in sort of row and column fashion. So let me start typing here. The main thing is to the main thing is there's going to be like a container element. I mean, we've been calling it grid container. We're gonna set some special properties on this, and that will transform it into this grid laid out thing. So let's see here. So I'm gonna do grid. So I'm making an ID. I guess you can make it class if you want to. It's kind of whatever. The main thing here is there's this display property, and you set the grid. So far, mind-boggling, I'm sure. Now here's the main thing: grid template columns. I'm gonna write auto here, not because it's some sort of magic incantation, but I'm asking for 3 columns, all of the same width. If I place, well, I'll play with it once I get set up, but it will, if I put in 5%, well then it'd be 5% of the screen. If I did 100 pixels, then that column would be 100 pixels wide. So size it, you can put whatever size you want. Auto just means it's going to balance out with the rest. Okay, so that's the main thing. Now I'm going to put these divs in here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay. You can admire the clankiness of my keyboard. It's great fun. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Nothing so far. That's fine, I think. Oh, it's because I have so many typos. Ugh. The key feature of GVim is it lets you make mistakes in rapid succession. Okay, there we go. Now we got things laid out in a grid pattern: 3 columns, 3 rows. Now the number of rows is just determined by the number of things I've added over here. So that makes the first row, second, third. It's just sort of implied because I have 3 columns. 9 divided by 3, you get 3. Okay, fantastic. To point this out, I'm going to let's set a nice background here so we can see it. Background color. I think royal blue. That sounds fantastic. Let's do that. Oh, also I don't know. I'm just starting to hate serif fonts right now. So I'm gonna change that for fun. Font family. I'm gonna do Helvetica. So that's fun. Change it. Hey, doesn't that look better already? So yeah, this is the thing. It still looks really sort of crummy, and just sort of visually improve it and show you some other sort of nice features. So one thing that's nice about so I'm going to use a different selector here rather than I don't know, applying a different class to each individual element in this. Remember, this is going to say apply this to all the divs that are within grid container. I'm going to set their background. I'm going to set it to white, even though it's slightly problematic. Oh, it disappeared. But we'll fix this. Also, padding. Let's do 20px here. So that's kind of a nice thing to space things out, is with padding. And now there is, what was it, grid? Yeah, grid column gap and grid row gap. Grid column gap. So if I want some space between the columns so you can see this nice royal blue again, I'm going to make a 10 pixel column. Whoa, look at that. And now we'll do the same thing. So grid row gap. I think you can just say grid gap if you want to do both at once. I didn't really mean for it to look like a tic-tac-toe board, but there we are. Anyways, this is just to illustrate what's happening. Oh, look at this. I'm going to put padding around this. Hey, that's looking better. Oh, not really, but you can at least see each div now stands out pretty distinctly. And it's not a lot of CSS. It's really just mostly nice to be able to put things in columns, because that's what has a lot of sort of visual appeal. If things are sort of not aligned in columns, if it's sort of zigzagged or jaggedy or something, most people who are not Philistines will be bothered by this. So it's good to lay things out in columns. And grid just makes it really sort of explicit. So yeah, that's the overview of that. Grid column gap is nice to sort of pad things out a bit, but really just comes down to display grid and grid template columns. Is there anything else about this basic example? No, I think it's a pretty good sorry, basic example. Smoke is just destroying my voice. It's been like 4 days out in it. It's kind of stupid, but it's whatever. I think I'm going to start picking up smoking. Like this raspiness. Anyways, let's move on to the next example. So let's do something a little fancier here. I'm going to move over here. Yeah, so I want to, a lot of pages, let's say, well, not a lot. I don't know why I said that, but a common sort of structure theme is to lay out pages like this, where you have a header, maybe you have some menu on the side, you have your main sort of body, maybe you have something over here on the right, some little bonus info or something, and some kind of footer. So I'll show you how to do this with, again, the grid layout. And it's nice because it'll resize and all of that. So you don't have to, goodness, my voice. As you expand, as you resize the browser, it'll fit nicely, and it'll also sort of accommodate mobile a little bit better. There's one other just like fun fact. It's called Flexbox. Is a good dynamic layout scheme for CSS. It is probably the most annoying one as far as I can tell. So there's that. So I'm not going to try to live code that because I don't want to be fired. But if you want to make a really nice page that can look good on browser and in like a desktop or laptop browser, or mobile versus normal computer or whatever, that's a good way to do it. Anyways, but for this example, I'm going to try to lay this out. So I'm going to use, again, IDs, so I'll make a header thing. That'll be the first. Oh, first of all, we're going to need this to do the same thing, so I'm going to call it a grid container. That's fantastic. And move this over. Yep. So I got the header. Now, let's see here. I'll put in everything else. So I'm going to have, I'll call it like my menu over here. I'm going to put in, you know, wonderful banner. Yeah, best site of all time. Yes. I don't know. I'm not a content expert here, so let's just keep doing CSS. I'm gonna add some navigation things over here. Navigate one, sure. So these may be links to whatever your other, food blog or whatever else nonsense you do online. You put these things over here on the side. Let's put the main thing in here, down here, yeah. Yep, and yep, that goes there. And over here, saying right is even a bad word, I guess, but we'll just do that. And then I'll do this down here, footer. Yep. Okay, so those are all the. Oh, I should put something in here. Super cool, fun stuff for cool, good looking people. Wow, should get a lot of traffic on this site. Other content goes here. The end, please stop reading me. It is all over. Okay. Yeah, let's see how this renders right now. Oh, it's just a mishmash of stuff. Okay, so now we need to actually style it because this looks terrible. Again, this is not strictly speaking required, but somehow the serifs are getting to me. That sounds problematic also, but let's just keep going with this. Ooh, this isn't better. Helvetica's is better. Anyways, now, we gotta do our grid thing. So grid container. We gotta do display grid. Now we need to, what's this stinking thing? Yeah, grid template. I feel like they deliberately named things in CSS to be hard to remember. I can't confirm that. That's my personal conspiracy theory that they're, W3 is laughing at us by just making up random crap. But yeah, that's what I choose to believe. Okay, so you saw some stuff kind of jump around here. It's because it has 3 columns and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, so that's why it's laid out that way. Really, I want my header though to span the whole page, so I'll do that. And there's this lovely property. Oh yeah, they do grid column start 1. Now we do grid, can you guess? End. Yep, that's right, you're right. But we have to do 4 because it's exclusive. So I have 3 columns, so I have to say it ends on the 4th one, which doesn't exist. So that makes sense, right? Oh, you see how things shift around. Fabulous. Now, what else? Oh, yeah, the width is already nice and wide. Yeah, let's make this a little prettier. Background color. I like that royal blue. I love how it's just built in now. It's like, hey, we got fancy colors for you. Now let's see. What else I want to do? Yeah, so the next thing is going to be. I'm just going to start coloring the different elements so you can see where they are. So right, I'm going to do also background color. Let's see, what do I want to, Yeah, let's do it. I'm feeling light gray over here. It's starting to sound like one of those shows my wife watches. A little light gray. Now on the footer over here, I'm also going to do background. This is going to be royal blue. Royal blue. They should make a show that's like chopped, but for like CSS live coding. That'd be fun. Very niche audience, but you know. Anyways, at least no food would be served raw. So menu. Yeah. Oh, let's do. I think this will look nice. That's right. Let's do light blue. Yes. Okay. Now let's check out all this. Oh wow. Okay. So I already have these pieces. If this is my goal, I'm close already, right? So the main thing is I want the footer to extend across 2, and I want the menu to go across from top to bottom. Span multiple rows. That's what I'm babbling about. My site does look a little demented, but we'll fix that. So we can use the same trick down here. So I can do grid column start to grid column end. I think I have to do 4 on this. Wow. Okay, that's already looking a lot better. So again, I'm using the grid column start and end, then kind of stretch it out. Fantastic. Now I just want to stretch the menu down so I can get it to be the same sort of width as the footer. Okay, so I'll just scrunch this down. Now this is where my conspiracy comes in. Why they choose to do this? On the menu, where's my menu? My menu's right here. You have to say grid row. You can specify just manually with grid row and grid column where the things appear, but you have to do /span2 if you want the span 2. Why is it different than why grid column start and end? I don't know. They're just messing with us. There's no other good explanation for it. But now it spans 2, so this is here. Wow, this is looking so fantastic. Okay, now we're close. The only other thing, what else would make this? Oh yeah, another just sort of general good idea to do would be padding. Padding will make your site. It's strange how much it helps. Let's see if you agree with me. So grid container div. So remember, I'm going to apply this to all the divs in there. I just want padding around everything. 20 pixels. Oh, now look at that. Much better. So yeah, now I kind of accomplished my goal. Everything's sort of laid out here. I've got my I could add more, fantastic content. Let's make this. Heck, let's just make this big. 'Cause that's what it needs to be. Oh boy, yeah. See, look how great the site is looking. I'm gonna be an influencer. Super interesting article. Wow, look at that. Maybe I got off screen over here. I can copy in. I should probably put things in paragraph tags too to enhance my content. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Wow! Look! Behold this glorious site. Well, at least I've used grid layout to create something somewhat interesting, or I don't know. At least I accomplished my goals. So yeah, I got this over here. So header, menu on down the side, main thing, blah blah blah. So now I could just keep adding content here. I could put whatever down there. Yeah, it looks fantastic, right? But the nice thing is you can with both the grid column start and end, and then this sort of bizarre devilish hack of doing grid row slash span 2. You can you can stretch things out. I can make the site bigger. It mostly works. I can make it smaller. It mostly works. So it works with the whole resizing thing. Yeah. So that looks nice. Oh, the only other thing there's I guess a little margin around the edge. Maybe I'm just gonna. I don't know if I should go off the rails and try to get rid of that. So margin -10. So you can actually negative amounts. Look at this. Oh, and then it goes right to the edge. I don't know if that captured on the video, but looks great. Yeah, so now you can create a wonderful site laid out with grid. Yeah, it's pretty flexible though. It makes sense. Somehow if you try flex blocks, it'll melt your brain, but grid is actually somewhat reasonable. Besides this whole /span2, like why? I don't know, but I guess that's about it. Give that a shot. Let me know if you have questions. Goodbye.